Do you often find yourself overwhelmed by the emotions of those around you, as if they were your own? You might be an empath. Empaths possess a unique sensitivity, an almost psychic ability to sense and absorb the feelings and emotional currents swirling around them. This profound empathy shapes every interaction, every relationship, and every moment of their lives. The first struggle you understand as an empath is the overwhelming emotional absorption you experience daily. It's as if the barriers that typically separate one person's emotional state from another are porous for you, allowing a flood of others' feelings, pain, joy, anxiety, excitement, to seep into your psyche with little resistance. This heightened sensitivity is not just about understanding or sympathizing. It's about experiencing others' emotions as intensely as if they were your own. Visualize sitting in a quiet cafe, trying to enjoy a book or a moment of solitude. Around you, life unfolds. A couple argues at a nearby table. A child joyously celebrates a piece of cake. A weary worker frets over a phone call. For most people, these are background noises, barely noticed disruptions. But for you, each emotional expression becomes a wave that washes over you, tugging at your own emotional center. The couple's anger, the child's happiness, the worker's anxiety. You feel all these emotions simultaneously, pulling you away from your peace. Or consider a day at work, where the undercurrents of office politics and co-worker relationships are always at play. You sense the subtle tensions between colleagues, the unspoken frustrations, the suppressed excitement, emotions that others may not notice. This can be particularly challenging during meetings or presentations, where you must handle not only the content of your work, but also the emotional inputs from everyone in the room. The effort to maintain focus and professionalism while managing this influx can be exhausting, leaving you drained by the end of the day. Even in personal relationships, where emotional intimacy is generally a source of joy, the depth of your empathic abilities can lead to challenges. When loved ones experience distress, the intensity of your emotional absorption can make it difficult to separate your own feelings from theirs. This often results in a deep urge to solve their problems, to alleviate their pain as if it were your own, sometimes at the cost of your emotional well-being. For you, the empath, navigating these waters requires not just understanding your unique gift, but also learning to manage it effectively. It involves setting boundaries, both emotionally and physically, and finding practices that can ground you, like mindfulness, meditation, or simply time spent in nature. Recognizing that while your ability to feel so deeply is a powerful tool for connecting with others, it is also essential to protect your own emotional health to maintain balance and well-being in your life. The second struggle you understand as an empath is the difficulty in setting boundaries. Your innate ability to feel others' emotions as intensely as your own creates a unique challenge. Where do you draw the line between yourself and others? This porous boundary is not just a metaphorical concept, but a tangible reality that you live with every day. It often leads to situations where saying no feels not just difficult, but almost wrong, as if denying your help is denying a part of your very nature. In the life of an empath, this struggle manifests in countless daily scenarios. At work, you might find yourself the go-to person for colleagues who need a listening ear. While this can be fulfilling, it often leaves little room for your professional growth or personal tasks, as you absorb the stress and problems of others, adding them to your own load. Over time, this constant drain on your emotional resources can lead to burnout, a state of emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion caused by prolonged stress. Socially, the challenge intensifies. You may find it impossible to turn down invitations or requests from friends because you can feel their need or disappointment palpably. Each decision to engage, driven by the fear of letting someone down, might lead you deeper into a cycle of overcommitment and stress. Here, the lack of boundaries not only affects your social life, but seeps into your solitude, stealing the very peace you cherish and need to recharge. In personal relationships, the effects of not setting boundaries are perhaps most profound. Your deep empathy can morph into a vulnerability, making you an easy target for those who might unconsciously or consciously take advantage of your compassion. Without clear boundaries, you risk ending up in relationships that are unbalanced, where your needs are consistently placed below the needs of others. This dynamic can foster resentment and a sense of isolation, even in the midst of close relationships. Learning to set boundaries is thus not just helpful, it's crucial for your survival and well-being. It involves recognizing and communicating your needs as diligently as you sense and respond to the needs of others. It means learning to say no, not out of selfishness, but out of a need to preserve your own energy. Techniques such as regular self-reflection, assertiveness training, and even therapy can be invaluable in this journey. They help you to develop the tools to not only recognize your limits, but to enforce them lovingly and firmly. The third struggle you understand as an empath is the need for significant alone time. This necessity for solitude, essential for recharging your deeply attuned emotional senses, often places you at odds with societal expectations and the desires of those around you. In a world that prizes constant connectivity and social interactions, your intrinsic need to withdraw and seek solitude can be severely misunderstood, leading to misconceptions about your intentions and desires. For you, alone time is not a luxury. It is as vital as the air you breathe. After hours or even minutes of absorbing the emotions of others, your energy reserves are depleted, much like a sponge becomes saturated with water. Without the opportunity to wring out these absorbed emotions and recharge in solitude, you remain emotionally drenched, unable to take on anything new, and at risk of emotional overflow. Think of returning home from a day filled with back-to-back meetings, where each interaction felt like a small piece of you was being chipped away. Or consider a family gathering where you face not only the maze of your relatives' emotions, but also their unspoken expectations and familial tensions. After such encounters, the solitude you seek is a sanctuary where you can process these emotions, differentiate which feelings are yours and which belong to others, and slowly return to your emotional baseline. However, this need for solitude is often misinterpreted by friends, family, and colleagues. They might see your withdrawal as disinterest or aloofness, misreading your absence as a sign of coldness or detachment. Romantic partners might feel neglected when you express the need to be alone, interpreting it as a rejection of their company. In professional settings, your desire to spend lunch breaks alone, or your avoidance of after-work gatherings, can be perceived as a lack of team spirit or ambition. Encouraging understanding among those in your life begins with an honest dialogue about what it means to be an empath. Explaining that your retreats are not about escaping from them, but rather about maintaining your emotional well-being, can help build supportive relationships. Moreover, demonstrating how refreshed and engaged you are after these periods can help others see the tangible benefits of your solitude. In cultivating these conversations, you not only foster deeper relationships, but also advocate for your needs in a way that educates and enlightens. Your alone time, far from being a barrier, becomes a bridge to understanding, connecting you more deeply with those you care about when you are present. This balancing act between solitude and social engagement is your dance to choreograph, and when done well, it enriches both your life and the lives of those around you. The fourth struggle you understand as an empath is your vulnerability to emotional manipulation. Your innate ability to deeply perceive and feel the emotions of others often positions you at a precarious intersection of compassion and exploitation. This sensitivity, while a profound gift, also makes you an easy target for those who might prey on your empathic nature for their personal gain. Your journey as an empath allows you to connect with others on a level that most can only imagine. You feel their pain, joy, sorrow, and fear as intensely as if these emotions were your own. However, this openness can also be a double-edged sword. Manipulators, often intuitively aware of your empathic abilities, might see this as an opportunity to harness your emotional capabilities for their objectives. They might cloak their intentions in the guise of neediness or distress, which you naturally feel compelled to alleviate. Consider you're in a relationship where your partner constantly demands your emotional energy, using your empathy as a channel to siphon your strength into their reservoir. They might express excessive neediness or create crises to ensure that they remain the focal point of your concern. This pattern can be emotionally draining and confusing, leaving you depleted and lost, questioning your own perceptions and values. In the workplace, this manipulation can manifest as colleagues or superiors who exploit your good nature, asking you to take on extra burdens, often praising your dedication, but in reality, using your empathy to offload responsibilities that are not yours to bear. They might frame these requests in terms of urgency or personal distress, tapping into your natural inclination to help and heal, thereby binding you into a cycle of exploitation. To navigate this treacherous terrain, it is essential for you to develop discernment, the ability to see beyond the surface of people's expressed emotions and understand their deeper motivations. Establishing strong personal boundaries is also crucial. These are not walls to keep the world out, but rather filters that allow you to control how much of yourself you give to others. Furthermore, engaging in regular self-reflection can help you recognize patterns of manipulation and understand your responses to them. Therapy or guidance from a mentor experienced in emotional dynamics can provide additional support, helping you build resilience against manipulation without sacrificing your empathic strengths. Thus, as you continue to interact with the world with your open heart, remember that protecting your energy is not selfish, it is necessary. Your gift of empathy is precious, and preserving it not only sustains your well-being, but also ensures that your compassion continues to be a force for genuine good, rather than leaving you vulnerable to exploitation. As you strengthen your boundaries and deepen your understanding of human motives, you empower yourself to use your empathic abilities wisely, ensuring that your kindness is a tool for healing, both for others and, importantly, for yourself. The fifth struggle you understand as an empath is being misunderstood as overly sensitive. In a society that often values stoicism and detachment, your profound capacity to feel deeply is not always seen as the gift that it is. Instead, it is frequently mislabeled as excessive sensitivity, a trait that can be unjustly viewed as a weakness rather than a strength. This misunderstanding can place you in challenging situations where your intrinsic nature is not only undervalued but also criticized, impacting both your social interactions and your self-esteem. When you react with intense emotion to situations that others might perceive as minor, it can lead to misinterpretation. Consider you are moved to tears by a piece of music in the presence of others, or you express a heartfelt concern over a friend's minor problem. While you experience these moments through a deeply empathic lens, those around you might dismiss your reactions as unnecessary or an overreaction, using terms like too sensitive or overly emotional. This can leave you feeling isolated or ashamed of your natural responses, pushing you to suppress your emotions to fit into societal norms. This constant pressure to conform to a less empathic demeanor can be exhausting. It might lead you to retreat from social interactions to avoid judgment, thereby impacting your relationships and social life. In professional settings, this misunderstanding can be even more detrimental. You may find yourself hiding your true reactions to maintain a veneer of professionalism, fearing that showing your true empathic nature could be seen as a lack of control or professionalism, potentially stalling your career progression. Moreover, the repeated experience of being labeled overly sensitive can severely affect your self-esteem. It can lead to self-doubt, where you question the validity of your feelings and your reactions to normal life events. Over time, this can erode your sense of self-worth as you struggle to reconcile your inner emotional reality with external expectations. To handle this struggle, it's essential to surround yourself with people who understand and value your empathic nature. Seek out communities or groups where sensitivity is not only accepted, but celebrated. Educating those around you about what it means to be an empath can also help reduce misunderstandings. Explain that your deep feelings are not a sign of weakness, but a unique ability to experience the world in a vivid and profound way. Embracing your empathic traits can transform how you view yourself and interact with the world. Instead of seeing your sensitivity as a burden, recognize it as a powerful tool for connecting deeply with others and experiencing the world in a richly textured way. By owning and valuing your sensitivity, you not only enhance your self-esteem, but also empower yourself to live authentically, turning what was once a struggle into a source of strength and pride. The sixth struggle you understand as an empath is the exhaustion that stems from constant caregiving. Your innate ability to tune into the emotional frequencies of others, to feel their pains and joys as acutely as if they were your own, naturally positions you in the role of a caregiver. While this role can be immensely fulfilling, providing deep connections and genuine comfort to those in need, it also demands a significant toll on your energy reserves, often leading to profound fatigue. This empathic fatigue is not merely physical. It is emotional and spiritual exhaustion that can cloud your own needs and blur the boundaries between helping others and helping yourself. Every time you encounter someone in distress, your first instinct is to soothe, to heal, to mend. But each emotional wound you bandage from another's heart, unknowingly, you deplete a little more of your internal well-being. This cycle of giving, if unchecked, can lead you to a state of burnout, where the very resources you need to function, your energy, your peace, your emotional stability, are drained dry. Consider yourself as a vessel of compassion in a sea of turmoil. With each storm you navigate towards those in distress, often ignoring the leaks forming in your own hull. Over time, these leaks can become significant, threatening to sink not just your ability to help others, but your ability to sail at all. This is the crux of empathic caregiving fatigue, the balance between facing others' emotional storms and maintaining your seaworthiness becomes skewed, favoring the former to the detriment of the latter. To combat this exhaustion, it is crucial to recognize the signs early. Feelings of irritability, sadness, or detachment from your own emotions are red flags that your empathic energies are being overtaxed. The key to managing this lies in establishing firm, clear boundaries that protect your emotional space. It's about understanding that saying no sometimes does not make you a bad caregiver. Rather, it makes you a wise one, who knows that preserving one's health is essential to care effectively for others. Integrating regular self-care practices into your routine is vital. Whether it's spending time in nature, engaging in creative outlets, or practicing meditation, these activities can replenish your emotional reserves. It's also beneficial to seek support when needed, whether from friends, family, or professionals who can provide guidance and an external perspective on maintaining balance. The seventh struggle you understand as an empath is the deep distress from global or local tragedies. Events like natural disasters, acts of terrorism, or even local news stories of violence and despair don't just register as headlines. They resonate through your entire being. This profound impact occurs because your empathic nature doesn't differentiate between direct and indirect exposure to suffering. You absorb the pain as if you are there, experiencing the events firsthand. This can lead to an overwhelming sense of helplessness and sorrow that extends far beyond a normal reaction. Consider the emotional turbulence you experience when images of disaster-stricken areas populate your newsfeed, or when stories of cruelty and injustice dominate the conversation around you. It's as if each story deposits a weight on your shoulders, each headline a punch in the gut. You're not just observing these events, you're emotionally living them. This can lead to severe anxiety, sadness, and even symptoms of post-traumatic stress, especially when the tragedies align with personal fears or past traumas. The challenge then is to manage your exposure to these events without becoming desensitized or indifferent, preserving your compassionate nature while protecting your mental health. It starts with recognizing your limits, understanding that while your empathy is a powerful tool for connecting and healing, it must be safeguarded to prevent emotional burnout. One effective strategy is to curate your media consumption consciously. Choose specific times to update yourself on current events, rather than allowing a constant stream of news notifications to bombard you throughout the day. This helps to prepare mentally and emotionally for the exposure. Another approach is to engage in active or constructive responses to negative news. Instead of passively absorbing the information, consider actions you can take to make a positive difference, whether it's donating to relief efforts, volunteering your time, or simply spreading awareness in a compassionate and informative way. Transforming feelings of helplessness into purposeful action can not only mitigate distress, but also reinforce your role as a healer and a positive force in the world. Additionally, it's crucial to incorporate regular emotional self-care practices into your routine. Activities like meditation, yoga, or spending time in nature can help reset your emotional state and provide a sanctuary from the chaos of the world's pain. Surrounding yourself with a supportive community, whether it's friends, family, or fellow empaths, can also provide the necessary comfort and grounding during times of widespread distress. As we conclude this exploration of the unique struggles you face as an empath, it's clear that your journey is both profoundly challenging and immeasurably valuable. The emotional absorption, difficulty in setting boundaries, exhaustion from caregiving, being misunderstood as overly sensitive, the vulnerability to manipulation, the agony caused by global tragedies, and the relentless need for solitude are not just hurdles. They are also testaments to your immense capacity for compassion and connection. These challenges underscore your interactions with the world, a world that often feels both too close and too intense. Understanding these struggles is crucial, not just for your well-being, but for the enrichment of society. Your ability to feel deeply for others is a rare gift, one that can foster empathy and compassion in a world that desperately needs more of both. However, bearing this gift is not a journey you should undertake alone. Seeking support, whether through communities, professional help, or loved ones who truly understand the empath's path, is essential. You need a haven, a sanctuary where you can be understood and not just viewed as overly sensitive or weak. Moreover, society needs to recognize and value your contributions. Your presence can change the emotional fabric of a room, a community, and even the wider world. Your influence, though often quiet, is powerful. Your capacity to heal, to understand, and to deeply connect with the struggles of others can bridge divides and mend wounds in ways that are invisible but impactful. I encourage you as an empath to share your stories and experiences. Let others know about the beauty and the burden of your empathy. By doing so, you not only educate those around you, but also validate other empaths who may still be struggling in silence. Your voice can affirm that they are not alone, that their gifts are precious, and that their well-being is important. Remember, your empathy is a superpower that, when nurtured and protected, can lead to profound healing and understanding. Cherish this gift, protect your energy, and continue to shine your light on the world. You are not just navigating your emotions, you are guiding others towards a more compassionate future. Let us hear your stories, learn from your experiences, and grow together in understanding and appreciation of the empath's path.